Good morning, Facebook family. I am coming to you live this morning to bring some love into your homes. I'm going to take a moment to really land myself here, give a little space for people to show up. If you are watching live, say hello. If you are watching the replay, say hello, #replay. I would love to connect with you. I felt inspired to come on here this morning because I was supporting a client yesterday around bedtime struggles. And I know this is something that is challenging for many, many parents. So I wanted to come just share some tips and tricks with you that will support your bedtime routine and just kind of tell you the patterns and things that I see in parents and that I support with. I have my morning cacao here. I'm going to take a sip. Let's see what wants to come through first. So the first thing I see parents struggling with is wanting bedtime to go quickly. When we get in a state of wanting bedtime to go quickly, we are in a state of rush. Our energy is rushing, and that does the opposite of what we want it to do, right? The other thing I see is a lot of just dysregulation in the parents around just memories stored in our nervous system from bedtime routine when we were kids, right? And then that affects our children, that affects the energy of the room. So you'll hear me say this over and over, but the more we can clear those core memories from our nervous system and meet the needs of our inner children, integrate those triggers, the easier bedtime will be as well. So what I want to support with today is ways to stay calm during bedtime routine, okay? Because that is what's going to support your child in calming their nervous system and preparing for bed, right? Which is what we want. We want our child's nervous system to feel safe to drop into sleep and for their brain waves to slow down, and I see a lot of parents just unconsciously, we all do this until we don't, just unconsciously, showing up and shutting down our children rather than supporting the process of their body slowing. So one thing I was talking about with my client yesterday is how when our kids are going to sleep, a lot of times they want to start talking. That's the time when they're like, they want to talk, they want to process their day. And like, I see parents in a state of like, oh my God, please just go to sleep. And then you're in a state of disconnection, right? You're in resistance to what your child's body is trying to do. And so the more you can surrender and open and support the process, the better. So I'll just share just personally what I do when I'm in this state. First of all, I have created a life for myself where when I'm doing bedtime routine, I'm not in a state of exhaustion. I'm not in a state of like, oh God, please go to sleep so I can get some me time, right? So that's step one. And I also support parents in doing that. But also I am fully present. I am fully present and I want to be there. Our children can feel that, right? And their nervous system is going to respond to that. Their body and being is going to respond to that. So first step is getting yourself in a place where you want to be there. You want to be present. You want to be supporting them. Your body and your heart is in service to them having a peaceful, connected bedtime routine. And then, one thing I was supporting my client in yesterday is directing the energy in a loving way. So like, we're not shutting down our kids. We're not like, okay, it's bedtime, like go to sleep, right? This kind of energy, which is a shutdown, or like suppressing our own anger and like, okay, it's bedtime. Like, I see you really want to, this kind of energy, right? The way when we clear our own anger, then we can be in a state of directing the energy in a loving way. So the way that my partner and I do this is he does a lot of the grounding. So when you're leading the energy, you're focused on where your energy is at. You're not trying to control your child's energy. You are focused on, okay, I need to get my body slowed way down. And our children, they follow that lead energetically. We are leading the energy of the space. So we don't want to meet them in their dysregulation. We want to slow the energy. So like, let's say my child's in a state of like wanting to talk a lot at bedtime. I will engage her, right? And make space, because energy is trying to move out and express before bed. That is so normal, right? We've all had a long day. Think about yourself, how good it feels to just have someone to talk to clear your energy so that you can go to sleep, right? That's what our child is trying to do, not on a conscious level, but on an unconscious level. So I make space for the questions, right? I listen, and then I might mirror, and be like, oh, I can see like that. So your body wants to express so much, and that makes so much sense because it's bedtime. Thank you for sharing. And we need to start slowing down. I'm going to do some breathing, right? And then my partner will also be doing some breathing, right? And grounding. This is how we guide and direct the energy. And not from a place of like control, but from a place of love, from a place of, oh, okay, my heart's open. I'm going to support the energy of bedtime by focusing on how my energy is affecting the space, right? And then what that does, ironically, is it gets us the outcome we desire, right? Which is a quicker, more peaceful bedtime. And our child feels supported. They don't feel shut down. They don't feel like someone's annoyed with them. They feel supported and they feel your presence, right? And that is the goal. The other thing I want to add here is everything leading up to getting in bed is so important too. Like those routines, we do dinner together. We do a walk, usually a walk, one last walk. We walk the dog together, and then we'll do, teeth and then reading. And it's all in the same order every night. That creates a sense of stability. It creates a sense of trust. And your child is already preparing for bedtime. Their nervous system is already slowing as soon as that routine starts. It's like their body knows and that process starts. I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but sometimes bedtime routine isn't available. There's a special event, there's something we go to, and we're getting home right at teeth time. Those are the nights, right, where it's like, oh, wow, I can tell my child is like more dysregulated, having a harder time calming down, having a harder time going to sleep and slowing down for this. And this is the proof, right? This is the proof. And of course, life happens. We want to be able to be spontaneous. We want to be able to go out and do things. And those are the nights where we really need to bring extra empathy, extra presence, and extra care to the process, right? And validation. Like in our home, we'll really validate, oh, we didn't have our bedtime routine. It makes so much sense that your energy's up right now. We're here to support you. Like maybe we could read an extra chapter. We'll pause. We'll invite some deep breathing. But a lot of empathy. When we heal our own inner children, okay, this is the key. This is really the key, is that shadow work and healing and integrating our own triggers. We can show up in our child's reality. Because there were so many times in our childhood where our adult was not in our reality. Most of us, if not all of us, did not receive a childhood where our nervous system and emotional experience was really taken into account. It's just the nature of human evolution. So now we're learning to regulate our nervous systems, be in the reality. When we go back and we feel the reality of our child's experience that we had to dissociate from because our parent wasn't present, when we are able to get into reality with ourselves and feel, God, that was really painful. Like, oh shit, like not having my parent present and feeling their annoyance and feeling like they just wanted me to go to bed. God, that felt terrible. That was really dysregulating for me, you know? And we can go back and we can feel how that felt for us, be with that child and integrate the emotions, right? Then showing up with more presence is effortless. It's effortless. So while I want to give you the tips, the tricks, the tools, I'm always going to tell you that doing that deeper work is really where the magic is. Because then you don't even have to think about showing up in an embodied way. Regulating your nervous system becomes a thing that isn't even difficult because you're not suppressing the memories that are coming up in that moment. Our children and how they are and who they be triggers those memories. It's meant to, it's supposed to. And it's how we meet that within, use our child as a mirror to integrate what's coming up in these interactions. We naturally show up more present. Like, I can't even tell you, like, now how much easier it is to just be present with my child. Like, I don't get irritated when she's dysregulated because I've healed all the memories of when an adult was irritated with me because I was having emotions, right? All the shame, all the judgment, all the irritation that I received, you know, and we all received different things. Some of us received beatings. Luckily, that wasn't me. But if you did, you're likely going to have more intensity in your body that needs to be cleared. So compassion with yourself first. You know, when I meet moments where I'm still dysregulated, I'm immediately empathizing with myself because self-empathy is a regulating experience. I'm never like, oh, why haven't I healed this yet? Why is this still here? That just causes more dysregulation internally. So empathizing with the self. Okay, I'm on my luteal phase right now. It makes sense. This is harder for me to hold. I had a hard day. You know, whatever truth I can access in that moment that's going to bring empathy for me is going to make me more regulated for my child. So, and when we clear the memories of when we were not empathized with, we become one with our emotional body. And it's a natural thing. We are now living from a childhood where we were attuned to and our needs were met. And that's my mastery. That's what I help parents do, is heal those core memories and integrate those inner children, because that is indescribably freeing. And it shows up everywhere in our lives, not just with our children. It ripples out everywhere. So let me see if there's anything else that wants to come through around bedtime routine here before I close out this live. I just want to share my offerings with you. It feels complete as far as the transmission. On June 14th at 10 o'clock PST, 10 a.m., I am going to be hosting a free event called Somatically Connected Families. And I just want to invite anyone who resonates with this live or the information to come hang out, be loved on. This is about parents receiving love so that they can bring more love into the home, right? We are creating a movement of somatically connected and peaceful homes. And it starts with parents, and parents deserve to be loved and held through their process of alchemy. This is not about perfection. This is about creating an upward spiral in the home where there's more and more moments of connection and more mastery around repair when there's disconnection. And it creates a beautiful upward spiral where we've cleared all perfectionism, and we are now in a state of just celebrating. The more moments we can have like that, the better, right? and it can be so magical. So if that interests you, please come to Somatically Connected Families. I can't even remember the second part of my title, Somatically Connected Families, Falling in Love with Rupture and Repair. So that's going to be on June 14th. And all you need to do is DM me and I'll send you the Zoom link, and I'd love to see you there. And for any women that are interested, I have my group program for women starting, and this is just all about integrating our masculine and feminine energies within and manifesting partnership that's based in emotional safety and intimacy and connection and healthy boundaries. So if that's something that interests you, this is for moms and women. So you don't have to be a mom to be in that space. It's a 5-month-long journey that includes one-on-one sessions and group sessions. And right now I'm in the middle of this current round of Unfurl, and these women are creating connections and lifelong bonds, and I'm holding space for them to learn how to relate in like deeply connected and intimate ways. And it is so incredibly rewarding, my goal is to support, like I want when someone comes into my field and into my space, I am supporting you in creating a life where you are emotionally supported so that you don't have to hire someone again. Let's bring your system into so much abundance that you can hire someone if you want to, and it's not even something that you're desperate for because you're so resourced in your life. Okay? This is what I support women in doing. And these women are going to leave Unfurl with bonds that are going to support them in their daily lives. So if that interests you, please reach out to me. That begins in July, and I'm happy to give you more information if you are interested. So thank you for being here. Thank you so much for receiving this transmission. I'm sending you all so much love, and I'll see you next time.